Alright, today we're going to be replacing the ball joints on a 2011 Chevy Equinox. Now, the process I go through is going to be the same or similar on a lot of other vehicles, so even if you don't have an Equinox or even a Chevy for that matter, go ahead and watch the video, it may help you out. I will mention though that the ball joints on this vehicle have already been replaced, so my job will be a little bit easier than if you're replacing them from the factory, because you'll have rivets to grind out. We'll talk more about that when we get there. I'm going to pop some Moogs in there because I've always had really good luck and they're a quality product. I have no idea what the ball joints are in the vehicle now, but they have been replaced and they've already got some slop in them. It could be that they weren't greased also. But let's go ahead and get the vehicle up off the ground, secured safely, and get started. Alright, so the vehicle up off the ground, supported with a jack and a jack stand here. And I remember a few minutes ago when I was sort of gloating about my job being easier than yours. Well, I jinxed myself. These are not hex head bolts. And I've already done the other side, and I scrapped all the footage because I struggled with them, and I ended up cutting the nuts off the bottom because the Torx bit socket, these are full of rust, and essentially I couldn't get enough grab on those Torx heads. So let me show you the nuts on the bottom here. We're not going to start with this, but I just kind of want to show you. All right, we're going to end up cutting those off, which is probably what you'll end up doing in terms of grinding rivets instead, all right? But to start with, we will be... Let's see if I can get you a shot. I've got to remove a cotter pin and that castle nut right there. Okay, so can you see that cotter pin right there? Let me get my tripod and see if we can get that out of here. Alright, let me show you here. This is the cotter pin and the castle nut. We'll end up having to remove that castle nut with a wrench. But we need to get the cotter pin out first. And I can tell you that on the other side, it didn't come out in one piece. So what I did is I broke off the head of the cotter pin, and then I drilled it out, and then I can grab one leg at a time. And that seems to work okay for me. So let's see if the other one comes out. All right, success. So that's the way I get them out sometimes. All right, so this nut happens to be an 18 millimeter, and obviously we can't get a socket and a ratchet in here, so we have to use a box end wrench, okay? And I'm going to get it placed, and I'm going to move the camera here so you can see what I'm going to do next. Alright, so I've shown this trick a few times on other videos. It's pretty commonly known anyways, but if you need a little extra torque when using combination wrenches, you can take another combination wrench or a box end wrench, and you can actually hook the end of the other wrench around the open end wrench, okay? And then I'm going to take my hand and just make sure it doesn't shift, and I'm just trying to break it loose here, okay? And try not to crack my knuckles. Okay, just like that. So now it's going to be a little bit of a slow, tedious process because I can't go very far with each turn here. All right, let me go ahead and remove this nut, and then we'll break the ball joint free, and we'll take a quick look at a pickle fork kit before we do that. All right, I'll be right back. Alright, let's take a quick look at the ball joint. I want to show you that it has a tapered shaft, okay? So even though I've removed the nut off the existing ball joint stud, it's not just going to drop out of there, right? Because when you tighten the nut down, and incidentally this one requires 30 foot-pounds of torque, it's going to draw this tapered shaft up into the steering knuckle, and it creates a mechanical bond, like a compression fit, okay? So once that's in there, even if this nut comes off, it's not likely to just come out easily. Okay, so we're going to use a pickle fork kit, and I'll include a link to a kit like this. I bought this on Amazon. It was fairly inexpensive, and it's paid for itself multiple times. This particular kit, you can use a pneumatic air hammer, or you can just use the old-fashioned sledgehammer. Okay, it's got 3 different sizes for different ball joints. Okay, this I think it was around $32. Okay, you can also just buy individual pickle forks. This one happens to be for a pneumatic hammer, but you can buy individual ones as well. Another tip would be if you buy the ball joints at a local auto parts store, they may have a tool loan program where you can just borrow this thing, say, for the weekend and get the job done and then return it. It wouldn't cost you anything, okay? But if it's something you're going to do, say, more than once, it's probably worth buying the kit, okay? So check it out down below. Alright, let's go get this thing separated. Alright, so what you want to try to do is find the best place to wedge the pickle fork between the steering knuckle and the control arm or the ball joint. And that's not always that easy. And I think we got it. Alright. Alright, let's take a quick look here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these nuts off without cutting into the control arm. If you're replacing a factory ball joint, you may have to grind the top of the rivets off, which on this one would look like these Torx head bolts. And I know some people take the control arm off, which is not that difficult. A couple of large bolts up there. I probably wouldn't. I would use a small die grinder and get in there and get it done. But for this, we're going to use a little air cutter. Okay, I used it on the exhaust video a couple of weeks ago. And I'm not going to video the whole thing. I'm just going to show you a little bit of sparks, okay? Oh, I should also mention I have a bottle jack here, and I just lifted this steering knuckle assembly up to give myself a little more room. And also this bottle jack will be used when we put the new ball joint in to kind of help bring that control arm up into place for when we install the castle nut, okay? All right, let's cut some nuts. Alright, there it is. Let's get the new one installed. Alright, so at this point I'm probably going to need to release my bottle jack because it's shifted the steering knuckle off to the side. And I'll need to push down this control arm. So I'm going to kind of reposition myself and see if I can get that done. Hopefully I'll get it on camera. Okay, the bolts go head side up, and we'll see if we can get one started here. Alright, there's one. Alright, there we go. So I had to release the jack. Really what I needed to do was turn the steering wheel, okay? So what I'm going to do is finger tighten all of these nuts here. Hopefully you can see this. And these are actually 50 foot-pounds, which we can do. The one I'm not going to be able to torque down correctly is the actual castle nut to the ball joint stud. Just can't get a socket in on it. And that one's supposed to be 30 foot-pounds, but we're going to crank it down and make sure it's in there like it should be. Alright, let me grab my torque wrench, and let's see, this is 18 millimeter as well, so I'll be right back. Alright, let's crank them down with a ratchet first, and then we'll hit them with a torque wrench. Alright, these need to be 50 foot-pounds. And if you have to put the wrench on the hex head bolt, you can do that, but these ones are tight enough so that I don't need to. Alright. Okay, this one needs a wrench. Spinning. Alright. I always like to get a little extra. Alright, at this point I'm going to get the castle nut threaded. And I do have the steering knuckle supported a little bit by the jack stand, just because there's not much clearance between the CV shaft and the stud. So I had to lift that up again a little bit. Alright, once you get it threaded, what we're going to do is we're going to reposition the bottle jack below the ball joint to sort of force that stud up through a little bit. Probably not necessary because, again, the action of threading that nut on is going to pull. You just saw the ball joint just slid up in there, or maybe you didn't see it, but I did. And then obviously the other thing we need to do, and you can see it, is we need to grease this ball joint. And I'm just going to kind of get it started here, okay? So what I'm going to do to tighten this down, because I don't have 30 foot-pounds, I can't get a torque wrench on that. I'm basically going to use a wrench, and I'm going to use the dual wrench method that we use to break it free, just to make sure that we have plenty of torque. And I don't care if it's over 30 foot-pounds. And there's a cotter pin holding it on as well. So alright, I can see the cotter pin hole from here. Can you? It's right there. Which is nice because it's going to be easy to get the cotter pin in. Of course, those are the famous last words, aren't they? Oh, move the camera. Alright, let me get another wrench so we can crank that down. Alright, here we go. Alright, that's probably more than 30, so now I'm going to start looking for my cotter pin and try to hit it in the next little slot in the castle nut here. Now, of course, it's right between, it's right in the middle. That's the way it works. Just right there. See if I can get it in. Alright, let me grab some needle nose, get that bent, grab the grease gun, get this finished up. Alright, so there's the other end of our cotter pin right there. Trying to show it to you here before I get my hand in the way. Again, if you found the video helpful, those thumbs up definitely help me out. And of course, hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. I've got all kinds of videos on all kinds of things. Pretty much if it's something needs to be done, I do it myself. Okay, let me grab that grease gun. Thanks for watching. Have fun. Again, if this is something you're going to tackle yourself, check out the price of those pickle forks down below. It's definitely worth buying. The money you save by doing a job like this yourself once pays for the tools you need. Remember that. If you use them again, you're ahead of the game. All right, let me grab my grease gun. Leave questions and comments down below. Have fun, and you can do it. Thanks for watching.